give people who don't know what CodeFest is an idea. So it's a 2-day sort of pre-BOSC collaborative work session. So, typically we have 30 or more people show up, which is awesome, and get together in a room and just focus on sort of learning about new things, training each other on different tools, building relationships. So, working with people you haven't worked with before, and, writing code, trying to get some things done as well. And so, I like to use this opportunity to say, like, everyone is very welcome to come to CodeFest. It's you don't have to pass some bar. People have been like, oh, I'm not good enough to come to CodeFest, or there's no bar to come, right? You don't have to be of some level. So, if you didn't go this year and might be interested next year, feel free to send me or anyone else an email asking about things. Very welcome. We've done it for 6 years so far, and people keep showing up, so we must be doing okay. So just to give you more of a sense of how it works, basically it's a free event. It's not, even though we're associated with BOSC, you don't have to go to BOSC if you want to come to CodeFest. It doesn't, it's totally cool. You just sign up online and let us know you're coming, so we know how many people are going to be there. And what we try to do with organizing is just get wireless power, space, coffee, and food so people can live and work. And then bring open source collaborators together. And it's totally self-organizing, so there's no pre-agenda. We just have a Google Doc of what people want to work on. The first day we talk through what is in that doc, and everyone goes around and says why they're there and what they want to work on. And then we sort of self-organize into groups, try to stay coordinated. And the goal is to produce useful code and motivate people to, do more work afterwards as well. And then try to report on the things we did, which is what I'm doing now. So just before I go into that, I'll thank you for all the people that help with this. Andrew Jackson is at Trinity College and is awesome. I didn't know Andrew before. We were just cold emailing people at Trinity, and he was awesome enough to get us a room and space and hook me up with like how to get food, and it was a big help for local things, which is incredible. Like, he was just really helpful, and it's always crazy organizing this for somewhere I don't live and don't know what's happening. So he was super helpful with that. And Heather, who's here, was also awesome. She hooked us up with all the places to eat and showed us where to go and all those hard things. So no one got lost and died in Dublin, which is good. So that's thanks to her, not to me. And Curaverse and Binna we're sponsoring this, so we had food, and which is super nice. You don't have to go out for food and coffee, so you can actually get work done. And obviously the community who came and show up, because if you held CodeFest and no one came, it wouldn't be very good, right? So and now I'll kind of just walk through. Everyone who made slides about what they worked on, so I'll just kind of walk through some of the projects. A lot of these you've heard about during talks, but this is sort of the latest and greatest stuff that happened 2 days ago. So if you want to hear the latest and greatest, that's what this is. So there's a lot of work on the Common Workflow Language, which is something I'm really happy about, because it actually started at CodeFest last year in discussions, and now you heard the talk from Michael yesterday, and a lot of people have been talking about it. It's a really exciting development around actually like trying to bring together all these many workflow tools that exist and work on things more closely together. And there's a ton of work done on that. You have to. People would make fun of me if I didn't mention Docker, so I will mention Docker. There was Docker work done as well. This specifically, folks worked on getting it working on Macs, so it's some magic to work with it on Mac, boot to Docker, and they figured that all out, so now things actually work on Macs where they didn't before. And the great thing about CWL is it's not just one group, right? It's several groups working on it, so the 7 Bridges folks were there as well, and they have a couple of CWL executors they worked on becoming conformant with the latest specs. So you can run, if you want to work on workflows and you write them in Common Workflow Language, they can run in more than one place, which is awesome. And Hervé talked about EDAM yesterday, but they were there working on supporting Galaxy formats. So there's a ton of work. This is really important work trying to, in terms of reproducibility, be able to actually annotate what you're doing in some standard way. So if I have some file format, what's the right name to use for it, and if you don't have a standard, everyone uses a slightly different one. It's annoying, so the drill. But there was a ton of work on that, which is awesome work. Another sort of task was packaging, so trying to bring together things that are difficult to package. And Peter, I don't know if he's talking about New Geeks. That's his favorite thing now, and there was quite a bit of work about that. there. There was also work on Atom, and which is a Spark and based a workflow engine, I guess is the best way to describe it. But some work on using that to build a contamination detection program. And there's more Docker here. Sebastian talked about CloudGene yesterday and was working on giving a local installation. So he has an AWS thing, obviously, but they talked about, working on getting something locally with Docker. Miriam and a bunch of other folks worked on R, getting Shiny apps working, like learning the process of getting that going and bringing something up to speed, and got this. And we have a screenshot, which is awesome. So we did something, right? There's some screenshots, which is sweet. This is work on improving ontologies for interfaces that Damien was working on. He talked a little about his work on this yesterday as well in the lightning talk. And the BioPython folks were there and did a bunch of work on adding new additions and fixes and also training people as well. So it was, excellent CodeFest, really great to have so many people there. And I mean, I think that's just sort of meant as snippets of things that were worked on. You obviously in 10 minutes, you can't talk about all the details, but give you a sense of all the people that were there. But I mean, the critical thing is having people and working together. And we should have had pictures of the awesome space we're in. They put us in the museum building, which is at Trinity right behind the Book of Kells. And it's as you walk in and it's a museum, right? So it's pretty awesome. So it's cool. And we were up on the third floor. It's sunlight in Dublin. It was pretty awesome. And there was a lot of people, and I think everyone had a great time. So it was really good. And so, this is another pitch for if you're interested, if this sounds at all interesting to you, you're more than welcome. Next year, we're in beautiful Orlando, Florida in July, which is which was not my choice, right? I don't get to pick these things, but that's how it is, But you could come inside and work, and it's if you're interested, and you've come to, I know that yesterday, Hilmar asked who was new, and half the people were new here, which is incredible and awesome. If you're liking what's happening and like the people, and you want to become a more active member, this is something think about coming to. We'd love to have you there. Help build and extend relationships you're already making here, and hopefully, obviously, create open source tools, and we'll learn new things you want to play with. So there's a lot of talk yesterday about some of these technologies are Hadoop and Docker, and what are people talking about, right? So it's a chance to you detach from work for 2 days and work on one of these things and learn what's going on, and there's people there who already know how to use it, so you ask them what's going on. That's the goal. So if you don't feel invited, you are invited, and I hope you'll make it. And that's my CodeFest spiel. And it's cool to be talking. I just want to say it's cool to be talking about this and Ewan's talking next, because he was sort of the originator of a lot of these things and the first organizer of all these hackathons and things. I don't know where we were at first. Phoenix is as nice as Orlando in the middle of summer. So. But it's awesome. So it's cool to sort of see all this coming together, and definitely thank you to all the people that came and attended.